Hi, my name is Marissa and I am a crochet and knitwear designer based in Missouri, and this is my little corner of the interwebs. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I hope that you find something here on this channel that you enjoy and that you want to subscribe for. I am not posting like vlogs and podcasts as often as I usually did because of work and everything else, but plus I want to be able to have a lot to show you, and I am not working on my pieces as fast as I used to because between work and being pregnant, I don't always find the time to work on stuff, but I am trying to post at least one video a week right now, and I do have quite a bit to show you. A pattern release that's going to happen this week, a pattern that is currently being tested, and then a couple patterns here that I am working on that will hopefully be out this fall. So, fall, winter, somewhere in there. So, if you are ready, grab you a cup of something and let's get started. Okay, so we will start with pattern release. I just got a bunch of stuff just piled up here to show you. This pattern will be released this week. These are the cinnamon spice fingerless mitts, and they look, if you look at them, let's see, there we go, they almost look knit. If you crochet a lot, you probably know what this stitch is to make it look like it's knitted. But I was invited to be in this awesome book, and I know, plug, but this book that Veronica from Blue Star Crochet created. It is an absolutely stunning book that she has put together of, I think there, between me and everybody else, I think there's 38 designers. She's got over 200 pages in this book full of tips and tricks to help crocheters, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever. There's a whole like bunch of tips and tricks for you, and she invited me to be a part of it, and so I put in one of my tips that I like to use, and that is how to keep your seams clean. And if you are subscribed to this channel, I do have a video that I put out Saturday or Sunday that is for how to keep your seams clean, a video tutorial on, if you look, there is no seam on this piece at all. And I teach you how to do that, and not only in these mitts, but I teach you how to do that in any garment you're making, any piece you're making. And so this is really handy for whenever you're making garments and you don't want like a seam running up the side of your piece, or if you like to make amigurumi, then you don't want a seam showing. So this is a good trick for that, and I will be sure to leave it up in one of the iCards. I don't know which side it is, but I'll leave it up there. And to go along with it, she asked us to make a pattern so that whenever whoever purchases the book, they have the option of buying the pattern as well so that they can practice this technique. And so the technique that I show y'all how to do is in these fingerless mitts. And something I really, really like about these is whenever you're making a lot of crochet patterns, if you notice on the fingerless mitts, a lot of them just tell you to chain to create the hole for the thumb, and that's it. And that's all fine and well, but I figured out, because I was working on a knitted pair of mitts. They're like fingerless mitts like these, but I was working on them, and I figured out how to put a thumb gusset in. And I'm like, why can't you just put a thumb gusset in your crochet work too? Because if you look at your hand, your thumb extends out. It's not just there, you know? And so you need that extra fabric to be able to pull your thumb through. And so when you put them on, that thumb gusset there, it's just enough fabric so that your gloves don't bunch up, they don't, nothing. It all fits snug. And I love it. I think that for every mittens, fingerless mitts, gloves, whatever, I think from now on I will be doing the thumb gusset in them because I really do enjoy them. But see, it's just enough fabric to help support your thumb. And then if you are a little bit on the advanced side, you could figure out how to add fingers and stuff, which I thought that for a beginner pattern, the thumb gusset was enough to learn in this pattern, and then later on I may do a pattern where you include fingers, or even one that folds over, you know, the piece that you can fold over your fingers and snap. One of the two. But I did, if you've ever done crab stitch, that is on the edges because I wanted to clean the edges up to make sure everything was tidy. And the stitch, it's a simple stitch. This is the, I call it split single crochet. I think it's called the waistcoat stitch as well. But the way it's done, if you decide to make this pattern or any other pattern that calls for this, what I recommend is getting a bigger crochet hook than what the yarn calls for. So if the yarn calls for a 5mm crochet hook, I recommend a 5.5 or a 6, because you need to be able to crochet your stitches loosely, because the way you go into them, you don't go into the top loops, you go through the legs of the single crochet to create this knit like texture. And so if you are a tight crocheter, you're going to want to go up a crochet hook size or 2. If you're a loose crocheter, you may be able to get by with the recommended crochet hook. It just depends. It took me a minute to really work on this stitch because when I first started it, I didn't know that I needed a bigger crochet hook because naturally I am a tighter crocheter. And so I didn't know that I needed a bigger crochet hook. And so making these, it was miserable. And I'm one that I want to enjoy my pattern. I don't want to force myself to make something just to make something. And so it was miserable. And sorry about that. That was my mail. But yeah, these, it was one of those things that I really had to work on. And once I figured out that you get a bigger hook to make them, I could probably make a couple pair in a day if I had a day off. These are not hard to make, and once you figure out that little trick of having a bigger crochet hook and making sure your stitches are on the looser side, once you figure that out, these are a breeze. And they're easy, they're fun to make. I just wish I would have learned the bigger crochet hooks sooner so I could have made other things too. But these are made with Red Heart Roll With It Melange. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure what color it is. Is it curtain call? I'm not sure. It's in the pattern. So whenever the pattern's released, you'll be able to find everything. The crochet hook size, the gauge, the yarn, all of it will be in the pattern. So, and actually, I have the information up on my Ravelry already, so you can actually go over there and look at what you will need to make it. I have it in, I want to say 5 different sizes. And so my pattern testers, when they tested this a couple months ago, they they loved it. I didn't have any problems out of any of it. They loved the thumb gusset and thought it was easy. They understood the pattern. It was easy for them to read, and so they really enjoyed this one, which I am stoked about. So yeah, there is, I think there's 5 different sizes, and so what you do is you measure your wrist for it because you measure your wrist and then the biggest part of your hand, and I think it goes from a 6 to a 7.5, maybe an 8. It goes in half sizes, I believe. And so it's been a minute since I've written the pattern. I had it tested a couple months ago, so it's been a little bit. But yeah. And if you find that the thumb gusset is too big, or you need another a little bit extra fabric, it's easy to add fabric in here or take away. If you find that the mitt itself is a little too big, or the biggest size is still too snug for you, excuse me, it's easy to fix. It's not hard to alter. It's not hard to alter this pattern to fit your needs. And that's what I love about making these kind of patterns is, yes, I made the pattern and it is simple and easy, but I made it simple and easy so that you can adjust it the way you want it. And that way you are happy. Because me making a pattern for myself and making me happy, that is a perk, and I love that, and I will wear these. I love these. But my goal is to make patterns that you enjoy and that you want to see. And so finding testers that make these and want to make multiples of them, that brings me a lot of joy, knowing that this pattern is not only good for me, but it's good for somebody else. And so these are really good for that transitional weather where it's not hot, it's not cold, but you want to keep your hands a little bit on the warmer side, like right now, because our weather right now at nights, it's in the 40s and 50s, whereas during the day it's between 70 and 75. So it's not hot outside, but it can be chilly if the wind is blowing, you know. So having something like this is a good idea. And then if you want them extra warm, you can always take and use a animal-based fiber. These are acrylic, so they are warm, but they're not as warm as they would be if you used an animal fiber. So that's something else to consider when making these patterns. And I didn't say at the beginning, anything I talk about, there will be links in the description box down below. The link to the book that Veronica has created for us, that will be at the top of my description box, because I want everybody to be able to get that book, because it's a stunning book the way she did it. There's not only video tutorial for techniques, but there is photo tutorial, and it's all right there. And there's over 200 pages worth of information for you on techniques. And so the price of this book it's worth more than what it is. She put so much time and effort into this, and I'm stoked. And then as an add-on, you get if you put the book in your cart, and go to purchase the book, you have the option to purchase the pattern bundle as well, which is got these in it. So what it is she created a book full of tips and tricks and tutorials for the advanced, the beginner, whatever, crocheter. And then she asked us to create patterns to go with these techniques. And each day from the 3rd to the 28th, I believe, each day you have the option of getting a free pattern over on her blog, which will be linked down in the description box. But if you don't want to have to bounce back and forth every day to get the pattern, if you put the tips and tricks book into your cart, then you have the option to purchase the pattern bundle, which has all of the patterns plus more. I think there's, I don't know how many more. She added a lot more patterns to the pattern bundle than what you're going to get in the blog hop. So if you go and purchase the book, then you go get the pattern bundle, you get more for your buck if you purchase the pattern bundle, which that alone is as cheap as you're probably going to find a crochet book like that, because most patterns go from $3 to $8 a pattern, and I can tell you right now, as many patterns as she's got in that bundle, it's worth more than what she's got it priced at. So I would check it out if I were you, because we all put a lot of hard work into it. We all worked hard to bring you patterns, and I'm stoked. Can you tell I've been talking about it for 16 minutes? Oh, okay. So next we will go on to the pattern and testing. This is called the Wisp Capelet. Let me hold it up. Now, I don't have this photo. I have it photoed, but I don't have the photos anywhere right now because it's in testing. But this one is a beaut. It's huge. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's got almost a 60-inch wingspan, but it's half double crochets and double crochets. Like I said, I wanted it to be simple and easy so that a beginner could make this if they wanted to. But it helps you explore techniques so that even though a beginner can make it, you're still learning something new, you know? And so, if you look, I made the bottom part first. So if you did not want the hood on it, you don't have to have the hood on it. You could use it as a shawl, which is easy enough. You just don't put the hood on. But I took, and what it was is I wanted it to be all one color, but I didn't buy enough when I went to get this color here, and when I went to go get more of it, they didn't have the color anymore. And I've been to the one in Poplar Bluff, the Hobby Lobby in Poplar Bluff, and I looked online and I looked at different places, and it's a Hobby Lobby yarn. I have to get it at Hobby Lobby, and I can't find this colorway anywhere. And so I compromised, and I'm glad I did, because I like the color on the bottom. But I did a solid stitch here with increases. You see those holes, that's where the increases are to make the capelet bigger. And then I put a simple mesh on the bottom just to give it a little spunk. And the technique that I really liked about this is, while you're making this capelet, on the 3rd row, you're creating a specific row. You're creating a specific stitch so that when you go to attach the hood, it's easier. And so you make the capelet, and when you go to attach the hood, if you look, you don't really have a seam where you attach the hood. There's no seam at all. And so this technique that I did, not only is there no seam where you attach the hood, but you got this lip here. See, a lip. And this is where your neck sits. So not only do you have no seam, but you have this lip here that sits on your neck, and it helps the capelet sit nicer on your shoulders. And I honestly, I didn't mean to, and then when I realized what I did, I'm like, oh, that was smart, Marissa. So I did it, and it actually helps stabilize the hood and does a better job. And so I am thrilled about that, because you start from the neck and you go down. You start from the top and go down. And so you would have had a seam if you were to have done it a different way. And that, there's no seam. I'm impressed. And then I did the pop of color here on the hood so that it just kind of coordinated. And you've got the ties so that you can tie it and it stays on you. I feel a sneeze coming. I think it's past. Okay. But it's simple stitches. It's easy to make. And I only made it in one size, but you can go ahead if you want to create it smaller or larger. All you do is take away or add increases, your choice. But it's not heavy, but it's got some weight to it. So it'll be warm. It's gonna be one of those wind blockers. It's gonna be pretty warm, and it will wrap all the way around me. And like I've said in previous videos, I am broad-shouldered, so it wrapping around me all the way is a good thing for me. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about. And yeah, the yarn that I used is Hobby Lobby Yarn ID. This is colorway Seal, and this is Indigo. This, I don't know if it's showing up on camera correctly, but it's like a navy blue. It's like a navy blue. And so you can choose whatever you want. You don't even have to use Hobby Lobby Yarn ID. As long as you have a worsted weight yarn and you get gauge, you can use any yarn you want. And if I'm not mistaken, I used a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. So you have a worsted weight yarn with a 5.5. This one is in testing right now. I don't have a specific day that this is coming out yet, because the event that this is going in is in December. So I don't have a specific day right now that goes, but the closer the day comes, I will let you know. Okay, so I talked about that. I have 2 more projects. Last time I had a podcast, I showed you some new yarn, and I immediately started working with that yarn. And so this one is Brava worsted weight. There's 218 yards per 100 grams. And the colorway that I have is Gingerbread, which is like a cinnamon orange color. It's a little brighter on my screen than what it is. It's like I'm not going to say mustard yellow, because it's not. It's an orange tint, but it's got that burnt orangey looking color. It's a premium, 100% premium acrylic number 4 weight. It calls for an I to a K. I am using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, which is what, an I? So, yeah. And I think the last time we talked about it, I said something about it being on the thinner side. It's not. It's fine. It's not thin when you're working with it. But can you see that? I bought 9 skeins. And before I blocked it because I wanted to see if it was going to expand with blocking so that I could kind of get a gist of what I was doing. But from here to here is 3 skeins. And I wanted a cardigan that went past my bum. And if I'm not mistaken, this is what, 13, 14 inches? I got it wrote down, but it's not. This is 3 skeins. So either I'm going to have to compromise and have a shorter cardigan, or I am going to have to buy more yarn, because I wanted a long sleeve cardigan that went past my bum, and I don't think I'm going to get it. Because when I put this, because you think you put it underneath your arms and you go down, this doesn't, I wear high-waisted jeans because that's what I prefer to wear. If I wear jeans, if I wear skirts, whatever I wear, I like high-waisted. I don't like to have things below, you know. And so if I put this up underneath my arm as if I was going to split for sleeves, and I pull this down, this goes just past the high-waisted jean part. But yeah. So I don't see this working as a long cardigan. So, I wanted it to be a long sleeve cardigan that went past my bum, and then I wanted to put an afterthought button band on it, or like a ribbing like this around that goes all the way around. I don't think it's going to work. I figure it's going to have to be more of a cardigan that comes to my waist. So, you let me know what I should do. If I should buy more yarn, or if I should compromise. Because only thing that I am kind of iffy about is I bought this yarn when it was 20 or 25% off. And I'm going to have to go buy more yarn, and it's going to be full price. Which, it is what it is. You do what you have to do to create the pattern. But my thing is if I'm going to use 9 skeins for this, and it's not even going to be enough, what's it going to be like whenever I grade the pattern for other sizes? Because I'm a, what X? I want this pattern to go up to 5X. How many skeins is that person going to have to use, you know? So, I have put it on the back burner, so I can kind of figure out what I want to do. But that's that. It is the Alpine stitch. If you're wondering the stitch I'm using, it is the Alpine stitch. And I didn't think the Alpine stitch would be a yarn eater, but maybe it is. Oh, I'm sitting on my leg. Give me a second. Ugh. Okay, so right now, since I put that one on the back burner, I am alternating between 2 patterns. I'm alternating between this and the baby blanket. I have finally figured out the color scheme that I want for the baby. I'm going to say nursery, but the crib and stuff's going to be in our room at least for a while. So, the area that I'm going to have the baby's things, I figured out the color scheme that I wanted, and I'm not going to tell you because it tells you the gender, and I'm going to keep that a secret for a little while longer. But whenever I get things finished, I will reveal it to you, and I will give you the pattern for the pattern that I'm making, because I am working on the blanket right now, and I like it. It says that one of the colors is not dark enough, so you know, I'm gonna have to work on that and see what I can do. And it's not set in stone, the colors that I chose. It's not set in stone. It's just the colors that I have chosen for the baby. And so, if we go and get other colors, it's fine. And, like, I want foxes. I like foxes. I think foxes can go, the theme, fox theme, I think it can go for a girl or a boy. So I want to incorporate some foxes because I love foxes and I love owls and I love all that. So I'm alternating between that and this. The yarn I'm using is Brava Tweed worsted weight, and it is 218 yards per 100 grams. And it is a tweed yarn. It is like an oatmeal-y off-white with black and brown speckles in it. And the colorway is Wren. And the specs is 97% premium acrylic with 3% viscose. But the hook size and everything that's recommended is just like the regular Bravo worsted. So, yeah. I am working on this. And if you can tell, which you can't because it's on smaller needles, but I'm working on a triangle shawl. And what I plan to do, this is how much I got left of the first skein. And this is what I got. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do garter all the way through with this skein. And then when I hit the second skein, I'm going to add a lace panel in. And do the lace panel for one skein. And then go back to garter for the third skein. And make it a 3 skein shawl. And so that is the plan. And this is what I have as of right now. It is an easy pattern. I decided to put a, what's it called, I-cord edging on the sides here to keep the edges nice and straight. And I started with a garter tab to start the process. This is the right side. But I started a garter tab to start the process. And we've got increases down the center, and then occasionally we have increases on the sides. It is a simple pattern. I don't know what lace panel I'm going to do yet, but we'll get there. And the needle size I'm using, sorry, my camera shut off, but it's an easy pattern to do. That is all I have to share right now, and quite honestly, I don't have much more space on my phone to be able to video, so I am going to get off here and start in on editing this video so that it can go up hopefully Thursday. And so, yeah, I am excited about everything that's going on right now. The book, this pattern, the baby blanket. Before you see this is hopefully going to be out Thursday. Wednesday will be 16 weeks, and so we're almost to the halfway point, and so I'm excited. And so I don't know, I don't think there's anything else for me to share right now, but yeah, I guess that I will get off here, and I will see you another day.